William Jordan here with Conscious Raising Art. And today is Wednesday. It's the Cosmic Kitchen edition. Today is a very special day in the sense that we're going to talk about energy, food energy, from a different perspective. Now, originally I had planned to talk about food combinations. And food combinations are very important because if we're not using the right combinations of foods, we're not getting the best use out of our substances, all right? And I looked around and I said, there's a lot of people talking about that. It's not overpopulated, but it requires some in-depth study. In-depth study means they have to be a nutritionist, a biologist, and all that kind of stuff. But nevertheless, we came to the conclusion that there's another level to this whole thing, and that goes back to the sun. In other words, like, if everything is energy, right, then food is energy. And the food that we know, it comes from, the sun comes down and it goes through the plants go through photosynthesis, the crops go through photosynthesis, and they produce the edibles for us, okay? Now, what I'm getting at is this, that a red fruit ties into the red frequency of light. A green fruit ties into the green frequency of light, on down the line. Get my point? Even the pigmentation of skin ties into the light. It's all about frequencies. Now, we as humans experience things called dis-ease. That's we're not at ease, we're at dis-ease, all right? And if you look at it energetically, it means that some type of energy in our system is malfunctioning due to environment, due to stuff we put in our bodies, due to how we think, due to whatever variable it is. So my thinking is that why not just go right to the source? In other words, like, if it's all a frequency, it's all vibration, then we want to mimic vibrations that are hopeful, palatable, useful, helpful to our system. In other words, like, let's say pineapple has a frequency, all right? Now, the way we get the benefit of the pineapple from the sun comes down, it nourishes gives a certain energy, or that plant absorbs a certain energy from the sun to produce the pineapple, okay? Now, we are made up of all that, right? We have pineapple inside of us, carrots, beets, celery, all the things inside that those vegetables and fruits correspond in our bodies. Like, we need calcium, we need, what else? All the other vitamins we need, I can't think of it. We need vitamin C, B12, all that stuff. We have fruits and vegetables, and meats, of course. We can't exclude the meats because they'll be condemned. And the meats that give us those vitamins and minerals. Now, what I'm saying is not to abandon that approach, because that's the way it's been done for a long time. But in the beginning of this human experience, we were light beings. We're not human beings. Human means the color. You, man, H-U-E, man, human, H-U, it's humans, color, right? So, however long ago it was, we could live on light. Even today, we have some people who go into, they call the rainforest, and they live in the rainforest without eating food. They can live on the moisture and the energy and the vitamins in the air, in the ether, okay? So what I'm saying is, while we're going along about combining foods, making the right food choices, organic versus inorganic, and the benefits of each, we could take it to another level from the standpoint of thinking a certain way to trigger a certain frequency in our body, okay? So now, if we're vibrating at a certain frequency, let's say we'll talk chakra talk, all right? You can relate to that. Well, your chakras are in line, and you know, the common knowledge is that your chakras start down in your lower part of your body, and you work up, right? However, there's a different point of view that says the chakras are actually in the head, not in those other parts, okay? And there are more than 7 chakras, okay? Now, years ago, I was doing this sun gazing thing, and sun gazing I was able to do for an hour, you know, not in broad daylight, but around, 8 o'clock, something like that. You could do sun gazing, and the sun, if your eyes are open, the sun will come into your body, and you're absorbing the rays of the sun. Okay. Now, I can't say my life was better for that, but I'm saying I did it, and it's theoretically possible. What I'm also saying now is that imagine if you had a certain frequency, whatever your body is running at. Once you know your frequency, if you keep your frequency within certain parameters, then you'll stay healthy. Now, what that means is this, that you also then, if you understand this, then you can take the foods that you put in your body, you can direct them how to serve you best. We are concerned with blessing food and giving thanks. Right? Why do we give thanks? It's given. This is how life is. But if we look at the foods from the standpoint of consecrating it, blessing it in a way that serves us for maximum health, that's a different story, isn't it? We talked, I think last week, about Dr. Emoto and his water experiments, how he proved that you could take contaminated water, all right, and you could put your finger in that water and tell it to get better, to behold pure potable water, and it would so. And he did that with 2 different photos of the same water molecule, okay? And so before and after. So now, if that's possible, then that means that we too can take our being, we know what that frequency is, take that frequency, take the ability that we have to hear the sound inside of our heads and our body, and vibrate towards that frequency, and tell our foods to vibrate towards that frequency so that we will maintain health. I know it's kind of convoluted and far out and different, but there's so many studies and counter studies. It's really like, everyone has their own opinion. Like I have my opinion. What I'm trying to get at is that, we come here, we have the tools we need, except maybe we're not looking at them, we're overlooking them. And I'm suggesting that we look at, just take energy itself, Now, let's say we have a very popular and pleasant diseases, let's say cancer, all right? Now, we're not going to get into what causes cancer, the sugars, the this, that, and the other stuff. The GMOs, the babadoos, the babadees. Just that it's a group of cells that are messing up. Now, one guy named Royal Rife, right? Royal Rife, back in the 20s, he was able to cure cancer with energy, with frequencies. And, there's a whole big story about him, what happened to him, and how he's not in the history books. Just like Tesla was not in the history books, but now Tesla's a big thing, right? So he was able to cure cancer. That means he was able to transform the harmful cells. He was able to dismantle them. We would call them kill them. He was able to dismantle them so they were harmless. They were nugatory. They would leave the organism. They would leave the system. Okay. So what the cancer is just like cells pooping inside and not getting rid of this stuff. It becomes putrefied, like in your stomach. If you don't have proper bowel movements, you get putrefaction. You get bloating. You get gas. You get all that stuff. You have to take medicines for it. And big pharma likes that. right? But I'm saying to you, you can bypass that by going right to the source. But the main thing we got to have here besides water is the sun. That's energy. So if we become energy stewards, who learn how to work with our energy, we'll be healthier, wealthier, and wiser. All right? So now I'm just rambling on. I know it's kind of a convoluted thing, but we want to start right now with, like, yesterday was concentration Tuesday. So with developing strong concentration can enable one to find your perfect pitch for your body, all right, and can navigate through your food selections in a way that you'll choose the right foods. And the foods that may be deficient in energy, once you're healthy, you can compel them, you can persuade them to serve at a higher frequency, because we have that power, right? So what I'm saying, years ago, we didn't eat stuff. We didn't eat stuff, but I mean is, before we became the human or in transitory states, right? The eating of stuff is a step down from the higher source, right? So that's what we have today for Cosmic Kitchen. Let me know what you think. There's a lot of information that can be discussed about this, but basically the idea is that we can control our health through our energy awareness. How we have mindfulness, energy awareness, but it starts with the ability to focus on the sound that's inside of us. Okay? This is William here, Conscious Raising Art, Cosmic Wednesday. Peace out.